everybody to M&M Podcast's special edition, video editions, interviews, like I said, in the Gungahlin and Brosnich one, where, mixing things up a bit and giving you some extra content this season in terms of finals time. Now, today I have NPL 1 Canberra Croatia. I have their captain, Matt Grbesa, with me today. Matt, how are you going today?
I'm well, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Now, so let's start first and foremost. You booked your place in the final. You booked it 1 round early. How do you guys feel to be in the final?
Oh, I think it's a great achievement, especially from throughout the year, what the boys have achieved. I was unfortunate to miss the first 5 rounds, but the boys, we've got a lot of depth in the squad, which sort of helped. So everybody's rapt to be here.
And it was a bit different this season. You had the NPL final series instead of your regular semi-finals. So from a player's point of view, how did the finals for a series feel this year? A bit different?
A little bit different, but I think it was still like you needed to win every game to sort of guarantee your spot. So we were fortunate enough to, like you said, secure our spot after the second game, with results obviously going in our favour. So we treated every game as if it was if it was our last.
And in terms of that, what do you have a preference? Do you prefer this final series? Do you like the idea that you have to play each other? Everyone has to play each other the same amount of times, or do you prefer just the regular semi-finals?
I think it's the regular semi-final, final. The knockout games, and the second chance that you do get if you do finish first within the league. So a little bit of a change, which is, I think the whole year's been a bit of a change, which has been good. So, but if I had my preference, it'd be back to the original way.
And this year, Dean Gungahlin comes in. What sort of impact has he made? You guys are, of course, have won every. Sorry, that was the women's. You guys have been undefeated this season. Only drawing 1 game, I believe, in the process, winning the rest. So, what sort of impact has Dean made on the side?
A lot. I was fortunate to play under Dean a few years back as well. So he brings just the structure and that, and I think it all falls onto us players anyway. At the end of the day, Dean gives us the instructions and tries to tweak things where he can and where he can see that needs to be changed. So, but yeah, he's a phenomenal coach. He's a successful coach. So it's definitely helped.
And what do you make of the season as a whole? Like I said, undefeated season. You guys have been in very good form. Everyone's been talking about that, especially Russ Gibbs on commentary over there with Frank Casher. So, how do you assess your season as a whole from a player's point of view?
I think it's every player, you want to win every game possible. We unfortunately dropped a few points with the draws, but still to go through undefeated was a great achievement.
And you guys during the season, you had this uncanny ability per se to sort of score late on or make a comeback out of nowhere when it seems like the game's pretty level. And I believe you guys all around the club are calling it Dino times at the moment. So, that's what Tony said anyway. So, yeah, what do you feel that this gives your team an extra element that no one else has really been able to grind out, even when you guys don't feel you've played well?
Yeah, I think it's definitely helped, and it just shows a commitment within the team. We all, until that last minute, we believe that we can win a game. Even though we were losing in some of those situations, we do believe we are good enough to play until that final whistle. And
when I was talking to Nick and Grace as well, they sort of said something similar. And when I was talking to Tony Vidovic, your president, earlier in the season, he said something similar, that even though you guys are undefeated, you guys still didn't really believe, this is at the end of the season, that you guys still didn't believe that you have played, to the full of your potential, or you haven't hit that level that you guys are sort of expecting. Is that just sort of a Canberra Croatia thing where everyone has their, that you guys always have higher expectations than of yourselves?
Yeah, I think it's part of that. We're always expecting better and more from every single player. We see how much time the board members and all the people around the club put in. So I think it's only fair that we push ourselves to our limits to really give something back. I think we had a small glimpse of it against Gungahlin last week. So I think hopefully we can repeat that and get off to a flyer.
Well, of course, you mentioned Gungahlin. You guys will be facing them in the final this weekend. So it was a 1-1 draw to start in the regular season. Then you guys defeated them 5-0 2 weeks ago. Do you think that 5-0 sort of plays a factor in this game, or is it just a fresh slate considering it's a final?
I think it being the final, Gungahlin will look at it. They'll forget about it. They'll put it behind them. So we'll obviously go in with some confidence, but we're not going to rely on a previous win to get us going, especially on Saturday night.
And what are your thoughts on Gungahlin as a team? They're the reigning champions, of course, from last season, and pretty good squad. One of the top echelon squads in the competition, along with you guys and the rest of the clubs in the finals, of course. So, what's your thoughts on Marcel Munoz's side?
They're a great squad. I think Mars has got them playing really, really good football. We've sort of might have figured out a way to get by them, but I mean, everything can be changed again. So, I mean, the inclusion of having Jack Green back for him will be a massive one for them. He's their skipper, so he does a phenomenal job at the back organising the guys. So I think the game will be a little bit different with Jack back, but hopefully we'll get out on top.
Now, what's your approach going to be to the game? How you guys are going to approach this one, since it is the final?
Like we do every game. I think we play as if every game's a final. We want to win. We're going to come out. We're going to try and play football, and obviously try and put a show on for the people that are fortunate to get into the ground and the ones at home watching.
Well, you mentioned that as well. I'm sure the majority of people will be watching on Bar TV Sports Live. Do you have anything to say to them in terms of what to expect from a game of this caliber?
Hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully there's no dismissals or anything in that sense, and that it's full 11 by the end of the match for both teams, and there's a few goals involved. Hopefully our way.
Thank you very much for joining me today, Matt. That was Matt Grbesa, captain of Canberra Croatia Football Club NPL 1 side. The final this weekend is Canberra Croatia versus Gungahlin from Deakin Stadium, live on Bar TV Sport at 6 p.m. Thank you.